This is the first shell that I tried to make it work. Let's see if this was an appropriate size. So I had to trim down those parts and try to fit it on the new chassis. Obviously, there are some there. These are prototypes. So this is the second test or prototype, and which it actually works. Somehow I did not notice that this part should go all the way to the end, like in the picture model. So in the third prototype, I extended a little bit the boiler. So it's not exactly a lot, but there's a big difference. So with this, the model being extended, we can actually fit this battery compartment, battery holder, which in the first and second prototype, I did not adjust anything, and it's visible right there. So hopefully on the new one, we can hide it completely. And I mentioned before that there will be a switch, just tiny switch that that you push it a little bit and stays in place. So basically, you've seen the progress done in less than 48 hours or 24 hours. So it is working. Now the design I'm trying to achieve, and I need to hide the battery holder. Oh, I still need to do some adjustments on this part. But pretty much will look like so. See that? I need to hide the cables. Also, this part right here acts as a battery cover. I'm just trying to see that. Perfect, beautiful. And obviously we need to put some screws in it to hold it in place. Not a big deal. So what's your opinion on this design? It's easy to keep it like a battery holder, battery cover. So if you've seen these two boys here at the beginning of the video, it's because now that we are able to make this motorized, trying to do the same with this Glynn and this other model, Fergus. I almost forgot the name of Fergus. This one is held by two screws, one in the front, one in the back. We are using a kind of rough 3D print. It's not perfect. I don't need the fine details on this 3D print model. This is how it looks. Basically, is the same design as Trackmaster Revolution. Obviously, we need to add the switch, but it's just a prototype and test. And it's working perfect. Now, see the wobbly wheels, kind of like wavy wheels. That rod is bent. It's not even meant for that one. I'm not using the Revolution axle. I'm using a Tommy axle. Actually, talking about Tommy's, I read a comment that says this will not work for Tommy. Yes, I know it might not work for Tommy. The reason we need to understand, in my opinion, we cannot put oversized wheels. These are very big, large wheels. And if I do that, it will look, kind of odd. With a giant wheel, it will look really bad. In my opinion, I don't think it's gonna look okay. See how big the wheel is? It's way too big. So if I do that, I need to increase the size, scale the size up a little bit on this model, and I don't want to do that. Compared to Thomas, see Thomas right there. This is the size I actually want to achieve. And I'm not worried about the tunnels. Trackmaster tunnels are way too low. I have seen the Backman tunnels. They are higher, taller than the Trackmaster. The Trackmaster range. So I rather like to have it the way I want. And who uses tunnels at this time, anyways? Not a lot of people, but anyways. Now with the extra length extended boiler that it was supposed to be since the beginning of the design, I can actually hide the motor, the battery holder. See how beautiful hides right there? That is perfect. That is perfect. Still in our prototype designs, but this is the way to go. Now, something that I want to consider is to add the steps seen on Lady, but unfortunately, according to the size of this model, the wheels prevent me from using it. There's very tight space. Cannot do much about it because we're using this kind of driving axles. But probably I'm thinking that I might make it a little wider so that way we can fit the steps. What do you think about that idea? We make it wider, a little bit wide, maybe. But for now, I'm just gonna snap these steps out of the way so we can test the model again. I wanna see it running. Yeah, actually, probably we are going to make it 1 or 2 millimeters wider, but it seems that it's just tiny clearance that needs to be added to this model. Yeah, I'm gonna consider to make it a little wider, a little bit wider, a little bit wide, but definitely we can hide that thing over there. Where is this thing right here? I need to hide the wires inside. I'm using a Trackmaster Revolution motor, which requires two AAA batteries. But it was a test only because I had the worm gear on that worm cog on that model. But maybe I'm gonna try to use the Trackmaster 1 motors, since the Trackmaster 2 requires more power to run, and probably one AAA battery might run out of juice real quick. But we were able to figure out how to even hide that thing. I need to figure out how to attach this thing, but I have an idea that might work. And probably I'm not even to add the screw holder. It's kind of tight. So this is basically the battery cover, two-part battery cover. Maybe I'm not gonna use the model holded by screws. Yeah, probably not. Okay, next step, I need to add the part for the coupler and maybe frontal coupler. Thinking about the lining will be, I think it's my best idea will be vinyl. I think I had some gold. I have used gold vinyl before. So yeah, I don't really like the Trackmaster Lady. Basically looks like Thomas, like like this design is not even close to the real thing. Yeah, at least this one looks closer. Well, that's my opinion. What do you guys think about that? What's your opinion? So I'm trying to get these two boys ready. That's what I'm trying to do. If you notice lately, I finally achieved the make this mobile pinchy for Diesel 10. I designed this Diesel 10 thing shell with a different face, obviously. I think I read some comments that people say that I might add removable face, maybe. To talking about the pinchy, I added some screws to the model, which gives them a little bit of stiffness. See, this part is kind of not so tight, it's kind of loose. And I added screws, which gives more control to the model, to the arm, and it stays in the place where I leave it, stays right there. It's not perfect, obviously, because I just did it with my bare hands. I do not even use proper tools to align the screws. But you gotta do a little bit, force it a little bit. But see, the part right here is kind of not exactly tight. It's kind of loose. But in the arm, between the joints on the arm is kind of tight because we're using screws. On this model, and it's attached with one single screw right there. I think I read a comment about the pinchy making available, but I don't think it will be a good idea. The problem is this part right here. You might not be able to attach the arm. You need to see, the problem is the design does not allow you to have a flat surface where, like this one is flat, so we can basically place the model flat, and it will swivel as it should. But in this case, unless you shave a little bit, but the screw maybe works, maybe not. It's basically right there. So that's what we're doing. Remember, this is intended for the final product, the process to make this real, and the real thing will be it's made for a company that I already mentioned before. They sent us a resin 3D printer, so we are using basically cheap printers right now, FDM printers. I think that's they call it, FDM. Yeah, FDM print, and it leave you a lot of lines and imperfections everywhere. With the resin 3D printed, obviously, it will have a smoother finish. Well, that's the idea. Well, we will see that. We're gonna do some tests with that 3D printer and the equipment. So that's why I'm trying to rush with these two models, guys, because I wasn't planning to rush on these two. I had to take my time on this because I was doing some other designs or trying to do some prototypes or whatever, faces and blah blah blah, a lot of things of related model, Thomas. And this is the only way I done this for the videos. Quiet, Cookie. For the my intention to do it motorized. So it's not even, what do you categorize this? Trackmaster 1, Trackmaster 2, or neither of those? I mean, I'm using the wheels, but it's not even Trackmaster. It's my own design. Trying to make it look like close to the, the lady. But I'm using these wheels. Now we need to consider, remember, the size of these wheels cannot be bigger because we need to increase the volume of the model, and it will be bigger, taller, and larger. And I wanted to make it like that size, and then that's what I'm trying to do. Motorized also. This is the next maybe next week or maybe 2 weeks from now. So thanks to the lady design, I now know how this can be done too. It will be easier. So you already know the motor is flat here. It's perfect. So I need to increase maybe a little bit this area taller, and probably shrink, or maybe not. What do you think about that? I mean, forget about the tunnels. I just want to make it look like they're closer to the real thing. I don't care about tunnels. Tunnels I can make. I can use backman tunnels. They are taller and better tunnels than the Trackmaster. Trackmaster, they try to save on plastic. That's why they made it so narrow that the tunnels barely, are about this tall. Some of those, some, not all. This one I have an idea how to do this motorized. Basically, I need to make it wider a little bit so we can sit the motor in right here, and maybe we're gonna make this the driving axle of actually, and I need to put the motor maybe here, but it has to be kind of tilted a little bit, or tilted in an angle like this, so it will not interfere with the design of this model, because it's very, very skinny, this area right here. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I'm trying to do, guys, but definitely these are close to be done. I was thinking, since we have the resin 3D printer, we can probably make it look exactly as in the show, but with more details. And I think the company sent us some of those resin that are strong enough to hold with a more tolerance for it's not. I mean, these are not even toys. I mean, these are intended for model railways. It's not even toys. I categorize this as not as a toy, because little kids, they will break these things very easily. I mean, if they play, the little ones, I'm talking about little ones, toddlers, they just grab these things like those. Talking about that, I remember my boy, my son, when he was little, we had the steam alone engines and Annie attached it in the back, and he used to grab it and swivel it like that. I mean, drag it in the floor, make it until he break the coupler. And it was not only one. He broke me like 7 of those, because I used to buy and sell on eBay. And talking about eBay, for those who ask on eBay, I've stopped it on eBay. I have so many products coming from companies, so I have no time for eBay thing. And also, I already mentioned this. eBay takes way too many commissions. I mean, fees. I mentioned this before. If you are looking for those files, they are gone. Everything is gone. But if you need a specific model or product, let me know. I send you a direct link for the model you're looking for. But I will no longer post this, because they take time to, not to print, because I have 10 3D printers, FDM printers. But it consumes time from where I want to design, and I like the challenge to make these toys, make it look like a little bit close to the real thing. But if you want some models, let me know, and which model, and I send you the direct link for the models you're looking for. But I'm trying to avoid eBay for a couple of minutes. I mean, for a couple of days, few days. There are a lot of products coming, partnerships, sponsored products, and blah 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 from companies. And we are in holiday seasons coming. That's the reason too. So stay tuned. I will give you more updates on these models I'm trying to finish.